Here's how to make this really gross teeth eye makeup. You're gonna need some gelatin and glycerin, some fake teeth, some body paint, some brushes, and the first thing you're gonna do is microwave that gelatin. Do not eat it. Then you're gonna take some cotton balls, roll them out into long, thin strips. This is gonna be the base of the meaty, gross flesh around your eyes. Test that gelatin on the back of your hand, make sure it's not too hot before you put it on your face. Then I'm using gelatin as an adhesive, layering that around my eye in a circle, taking those cotton balls and putting them on top of the gelatin. And then what I'm doing is I'm just sort of working methodically in a circle, layering gelatin under and over, letting it drip a bit so it looks really gross and messy. Once I finish that eye, I start on the other eye, doing that same technique, layering that cotton in a circle and then working under and over it to create a nice, gross texture. The point here is to get that cotton completely covered so it doesn't feel soft and fuzzy. Then I'm taking my fingers, lifting up a few pieces to give it more texture. Then I'm taking the scar wax and layering it over the upper edge of the gelatin to make it look like the skin is growing over the grossness right there. I'm using lotion on the back of my hand, dipping my little nail spatula in the lotion, and then using that to help spread out and flatten the edges. This is the technique that works best for me. I hate working with scar wax because it can be a little sticky and problematic, so I find using some sort of Vaseline or lotion helps me spread it more smoothly. Then taking a stipple sponge, adding some texture to that skin.
There's a donut for you.
A donut? For me? Can you bring it to me? I'll take it right here.
They didn't have all of the...
I thought I was joking.
They didn't have all of the donuts that we wanted.
Now motivated by donuts, I went ahead and kept spreading that scar wax till it was nice and even and I liked the way that it looked. Double checking to make sure the placement's how I like. Then I took some latex on a Q-tip and used it to sort of seal the edges of that latex. Sometimes this works wonderfully, sometimes it's a little problematic for me, but it worked this time. I went ahead and took some black Mevron body paint, spread that around that inner socket right there. Careful not to get it in my eyes as I was working. Then I took a bright red body paint and used that for the gross, meaty part of the injury. Then I went ahead and took some foundation and concealer and went ahead and touched up around the edges where the scar wax and gelatin meet the skin just to help blend it a little better. I also realized I hadn't done any sort of base makeup on my face before I did the gross meaty eye socket, so I went ahead and touched up my skin as well. Then I took a bruise wheel and started bruising the skin up around where the scar wax and gelatin ended in order to make it look like a more natural injury. Went in with some deep blues and purples just to give it a little more depth and dimension. And then I took a black body paint and went ahead and painted over the red just to give it a little more depth and make it look a little more realistic. I went ahead and took a black eyeliner, filled in my waterline just to help with the illusion of missing eyes. And then went ahead and used that same eyeliner to go around the edges of any ridge or valley in that gross meaty part of the makeup to give it more dimension. I went ahead and used a white body paint on all the highest points in the makeup to give it a little highlight. Then I started placing the teeth. I had no method for this, I just placed it wherever I wanted, and I went ahead and used latex to help hold it in place. In the future, I would probably try and stick the teeth in the makeup while the gelatin is still pliable and damp, but it went ahead and worked this way too. This part of the makeup really was trial and error. Some of the teeth looked great, others didn't want to stick, so it was really just about what worked and what didn't work. I went ahead and used a little more latex to seal some of the teeth, and then I took a stipple sponge with some fake blood and started bloodying myself up. Decided I needed a little something on the lips, so I went in with a liner, a lipstick, and then a little red glitter just to give it a pop of glam since it is so gross and gory. And then I decided I still needed some gore by the lips, so I took a stipple sponge with some fake blood and went ahead and stippled that around my lips just to give it a little more grossness. And here's the final look.
I'm thinking about being a witch and scaring children when they walk by my house. Oh, for Halloween? No?